Hey everybody, this is Dax. Glad to have you back. So I'm going to go a little bit off the reservation today. I've known about this for a long time and have been meaning to do a reaction to it. It is Billboard's Young Women as Role Models that was done in September of 2017, a little bit over 3 years ago, with Grace Vanderwaal, Becky G, Zara Larsson, and Noah Cyrus. Noah's on the left. Zara is in the green jacket, and then Becky G over on the right. Yeah, I've been meaning to do this for a long time, but I've kind of stayed away from it because I'm just really biased towards Grace Vanderwaal and was afraid, frankly, that I might not like these other, I thought girls, but I thought these were teenagers. But it turns out, well, I thought they were like 16, around 16, 17. Well, it turns out Noah on the left is, well, at this point, she was 17 and a half, and Zara in the green jacket was 19 and a half, and Becky G was 20 and a half on this. Grace is 13 and a half. So there's a 7 year difference between Grace and Becky on the right. And then, so I'll just say 13, 17, 19, and 20 is what their ages are. So that's a big difference. They're all, I guess, Generation Z, Gen Z, like my daughter, who's 17, 4 months older than Grace. So I know this generation really well. I There's probably 3 dozen kids between the ages of 15 and 20 that I know and I talk to fairly regularly. So I know the generation pretty well, but I just wanted to see how, frankly, how Grace would be in this, but also just kind of compare and contrast. Um, all of these young women have made it fairly big or big. Just a little bit of background, and I'm sorry to my subscribers who are younger who know I had never even heard of these three young ladies outside of Grace Vanderwaal. You all know that I do a lot of Grace Vanderwaal reactions. She's my favorite singer and songwriter of the modern generation. She's also my favorite personality, funny, engaging, authentic personality of this generation as well. So I'm looking forward to kind of getting to know a little bit about these other young women here. Becky on the right is probably the most accomplished. She made it big in 2014 at the age of 17. Start with her music and is really well known. Zara in the green jacket is Swedish. She won the Swedish talent show in 2008 at the age of 10 or 11. And then she signed her first record deal at the age of 14 and is big in Sweden, Britain, and even in America. So she and Grace have very similar career paths. Grace Vanderwaal, of course, won AGT, America's Got Talent, in 2016, September, and then came out with her first EP, Perfectly Imperfect, in December of 2016, and has done a lot of concerts, had done a lot of concerts by then, and was working on her first LP, Just the Beginning, which would come out a few months after this. And then Noah on the left is actually the youngest sister, I think, of Miley Cyrus, and the fifth child of Billy Ray Cyrus. Made some cameos on Hannah Montana and was in a couple of movies at a very young age, and then broke out with her first music 1 year before this in 2016 at the age of 16. So all of them are young women, obviously, and that generation, Gen Z generation. So I haven't seen this. This picture is about 18 seconds in. I wanted to have a picture of all of them, and I wanted to kind of play a game, I guess, a little bit before it gets started. I wanted to sort of see how they present themselves. I mean, this is about being role models, young women as role models. And so what I first wanted to say is that in the way they're dressed and the way they appear, Grace and Zara in the middle have sort of a casual, classy look about them. Nicely dressed with sort of nice shoes and hair that's styled but not overstyled. I really like their look. Those are my favorite looks, I guess I could say. And they come across to me as sort of a younger generation role model. Becky G, who is the oldest on the right, comes across as very classy and confident, and her hair maybe a little bit overdone, but it looks really good. So she comes across as a nice role model. And then on the opposite side, you've got Noah, who doesn't come across well. She looks sort of grungy, sort of, what's the word? Grunge. Her hair is not done. Doesn't even look like she put a brush through it. She's wearing sweatpants and a sort of a sweatshirt with the flat bottom shoes. So, I mean, I don't know if that's what she wants to be, the role model. I'm not necessarily criticizing that, although for me personally, I don't look that way unless I'm around the house with my daughter or friends or my friends, or if I'm going to Walmart, which I never do. So anyway, not a good first presentation from Noah. I'm not saying anything about her personality. I don't know anything about her. I'm just saying that as role models, the three on the right come across very nicely as role models, their hair and the way they're dressed. So I'm just saying, first impression. So anyway, what do you say we jump into this? I really can't wait to see how this goes. Oh, I just wanted to say another thing about facial expressions right here. Becky G comes across as quite eloquent and confident, the way she's using her hands, the way she's looking directly at the camera. Grace comes across as very sincere, listening to Becky G. Zara comes across as kind of is paying attention, but almost sort of, yeah, I've heard all of that before. But, you know, she still comes across nice on this. And then Noah looks like she's depressed, frankly. And maybe I'm wrong on that. So, and in other words, just barely listening and kind of caught up in her own universe. So, gosh, that was a lot. That's probably what, 4 or 5 minutes. This could go long also, I want to say, because I may stop it many times to make comments on just everything in this. So let's go back to the beginning and start out with Zara, and here we go.
I feel as young women in the music industry, we have such a platform and we're so influenced.
Oh, I just want to say real quick, I really like that nice look on Noah's face just then, what she did. Now that's a sweet face. So I really hope I'm wrong about Noah. And I can't believe they're starting out with Grace Vanderwaal's voice. Yes!
In the music industry, we have such a platform and we're so influential to young girls and boys.
I feel like my responsibility isn't to be just like a role model, because I feel like...
Okay, I just want to say, I like the way that Becky presents herself, and I like the way that Grace is listening to her. I really like that authenticity on both their parts. So let me back it up a little bit so I can hear what Becky's saying again.
Role model, because I feel like nobody's perfect, and to kind of put that you're perfect out there isn't a good influence. It's being more like a real model, being authentic to yourself and...
Nice, nice, nice.
Accepting that maybe not everybody's gonna like you, and I feel like that is what empowers you, is acknowledging like I am who I am.
Oh man, that is terrific. What empowers you is knowing that I am who I am. I love that.
I completely agree with that. Like,
well, I just want to say again, I hope I'm wrong on Noah. I just love her look at that look on her face. That's such a lovely look. What a darling look. Okay, anyway.
I agree with that. Like, some people say that, for example, Rihanna is a bad role model, but I don't agree with that, because I feel like
I love Rihanna.
She does whatever she wants to do, and she's really being herself. It's all on her terms. I mean, she's the bad girl Riri, but like you say, I don't think a role model has to be perfect either.
You could see it two completely different ways. You could look at Rihanna and be like, a mom throwing a tantrum, like, oh my.
Just look at the way these two girls are looking at Grace. Grace is 6 to 7 years younger. Look at that. I mean, Noah is completely riveted by Grace. And I love the way Grace started out. Grace starts it out with, you can look at it one of two ways. Already she's putting it in perspective. I love that. So let's start that over.
See it two completely different ways. You could look at Rihanna and be like, a mom throwing a tantrum, like, oh my God, I can see cleavage. Oh my God, it's a horrible role model.
Right? My mom's like,
but then you could also see a side of it like,
How about that? How about the 13-and-a-half-year-old livening everything up with her humor and her perspective? That's impressive, folks. And boy, they love her already.
she could also be a role model for being strong
That's
and
what
being
I'm
an
saying.
independent
Yeah,
woman. And you
absolutely.
could see it that way as well.
But then it's also like, you gotta understand when you have a huge following that people will look up to you and they will look at you saying, oh, but what is she doing? Or how is she doing this? How is she handling this? And you just gotta
be aware.
of that.
Well, I feel like for me, because I've since I was little, I've dealt with people being so horrible to me on social media.
Yeah.
And remember, she was on Hannah Montana at a very young age. She actually had her first little stint when she was 2 years old on there. Gosh, people. And I mean, before she was 10, she'd been on there several times. She's been around the industry because of her father and her older sister. I can only imagine what she has seen in her young life.
And it was before my social media even got big and before I even had music out. And it was me when I was your age and younger, and people just being so awful to me and calling me such awful names. And that's what I try to use my voice for now, is like, what everybody else is saying, and like, don't give a shit, because like, you know, right now I'm wearing the baggiest pants in the world and a huge ass sweatshirt, and I really don't give a if anyone else cares. And like,
Okay, so yeah, I get it. I get it. There's still a lot of anger there, obviously. I mean, you know, the F word and shit and everything else. She really projects very nicely. I love how strong her voice is. But she's still obviously angry. I don't necessarily think, I mean, in a way, that's kind of a role model in the sense of F everybody. I mean, I'm not going to take this shit, that kind of stuff. I think I would like it if she were a little bit past that and a little bit more elegant about how she said it, but I get it.
for me, it's like, as a woman, I want to show somebody that, like, whether you're a male or you're a female, you can wear whatever you want. You can dress however you want. If you want to wear makeup, you're beautiful. And if you want to go...
Okay, I get that too. But come on, you're coming on here and you're being not just a role model in your like attitude, the F off attitude, which I think is pretty good for everybody to have. As Grace said, and I talked about in my last, Grace Vanderwaal, as I talked about in my last reaction, Grace described the world as a beautiful battlefield. It is. It's a battlefield, and you got to fight. You got to fight the battles, and it is beautiful. It's a good place. But just say that Noah's coming on a bit strong here, and I do understand. I can't imagine what she's been through, but I like the elegance of the other three young women a little bit more. But I do like Noah as well.
With nothing on your skin, you are still just as beautiful as you would be after caking it all on, and you can do whatever you want, you know what I mean? And so that's what I think I want to influence, you know, young girls or young boys, whatever you want to do it, because that's what I'm doing and that's what we all should be doing, you know what
It's almost like she purposely came on here to be the foil, you know, the opposite. I know these other three young ladies are going to be dressed nicely. They're going to be dressed elegantly. They're going to talk elegantly. Well, no, I'm coming on here in my slack outfit and I'm going to cuss. You know, I get it. I get it. Not crazy about it. I did that when I was a teenager, young teenager. All right.
I mean? With my music, I want to be honest and I want to tell you how I'm feeling, and that's how you should feel all the time, that you can just say what you want to say.
You give way more responsibility to women for being role models than you do to men. It's
It's so true.
It's so true.
I always, oh my God,
It's like who asks, I don't know if these questions are asked as frequently to men. Like,
that's a very good point. It's a really, young men are supposed to be bad boys, and they're not. That pressure, the pressure that is put on young women especially, that's a really good point that Zara makes. And it is true. Even my daughter talks about it.
Women are always being responsible for everyone.
Yeah, it's
but we can't be involved in a lot of things. But we're
Yeah.
responsible for everything.
And then also, like, I feel like women are so picked on more than men. Like,
Of course.
Before we listen to Grace, look at the looks that Becky G and Noah give to the camera here, right? They're both looking at something. I don't know. Not really sure. Something's happening over there. But anyway, I thought they were just kind of punctuating that. Anyway, here we go.
Like, I feel like women are so picked on more than men. Like,
Of course,
I've
yeah.
seen 13-year-olds be on stage, boys, like shirtless, singing about very explicit stuff. And then, like, there'll be like a 13-year-old girl, like,
She's like myself on stage,
yeah,
working hard, doing
yeah,
my thing,
exactly. And then
no
like people will
reaction or-
pick out like little things like, oh my God, she's wearing high heels. Oh my, what the heck?
I think people love to tell young people, you don't know what you're talking about, you're too young for that, or like, you'll understand when you're older. And I think sometimes you just want to scream. Even now, people still say that to me, and I'm like, no, I get it. I know what's going on. I'm aware. I might be 17, but I am aware. You know what I mean? And I think that's just something that comes with it.
Anytime someone mention your name, I'm doing it all night, all summer, doing it the way I wanna. I'm like, oh, I never liked you when you told me to always stay here, never leave me. The light from your eyes.
I really enjoyed this. I really, really enjoyed it. And I liked all of these young women. I didn't think I was going to like Noah, but I really like her. I can't even imagine what she's been through in her young life. And yeah, coming on sort of grunge and slack, not crazy about that, but she comes across really well. I really ended up actually really liking her. I liked all of them, Frank, and I liked what they all had to say. I mean, I hate the word empowerment. It's kind of a cliched word, but these four young ladies are confident. They each have very individual personalities. I mean, they are so really, when it comes down, different. Becky has got that sort of glamour sexiness about her. Zara has that sort of elegant sexiness about her. Grace has that authenticity and joie de vivre and directness and perspective about her. Noah has that sassy, go to hell, but I'm still sweet as anything. And frankly, kind of loveliness about her and sort of innocence about her also. So, I mean, just their differences were stark. And Billboard did a great job getting them together on this. So I was going to stop it a lot more, but I just got so wound up, so enthralled by it. And frankly, I was expecting to be really biased towards Grace Vanderwaal because I know her so well. But I liked all of these young women. I liked them very, very much. And I think that's my kitty who's in here with me. And I have to say I'm impressed. I'm impressed. They didn't overdo it. They didn't come in here and try to pretend to be role models. They came in here and all of them were quite frank. And that's impressive. I was impressed. Really. This was really good. And I may have to go look up some of their music now. The other three that I don't know. All right. Gosh, what else on that? I just like the several points that were brought up. I like the point that I think that Zara initially started with on the, was it Zara or Grace? I think it was Zara about, there's a different standard used for women than men. And I liked, in a way, I like the implicit aspect of what Noah was saying. You know, when she was basically, when she said the F word and shit, I mean, she's basically saying, it's okay, girls. It's okay to use that. I don't know if she meant to do that. Maybe she did. It's okay to do that. It's okay to dress how you want to dress. You're still who you are. Now, I do think that if you're going to have a situation like this, that you do dress up a little bit. That's my perspective, you know, but Noah's throwing it all out there and saying, you know, I'm going to, this is how I'm feeling today. This is what I'm going to do. So I wasn't expecting to say that, but you know, good on her for being herself. Yeah. All of them had great points. All of them. I was expecting to like one or two more than the others, but I liked all of them very much. So I'm looking forward to hearing what all of y'all have to say. Not just my young subscribers. 25% of my subscribers are below the age of 30. Really look forward to your comments and everybody else's comments on this. So yeah, pipe up. Let me know what you think. Really enjoyed this. I'll catch you soon on the backside. Take care of yourselves. Bye now.